Okay, we'll go ahead and get the meeting started. I'm Bob Bratton, your current chairperson for the Massillon Local History and Genealogy Society. And I have been really looking forward to today's program. I think it's going to be a good one. Christine Bowman, the library's genealogy specialist, is going to do a walkthrough of FamilySearch.org for us.
Very cool.
It's going to be an online tour, of course, and we're going to explore their world tree. Christine is going to explain the benefits of the library's new status as a FamilySearch affiliate library.
Oh, cool.
So I am really looking forward to this. And I, as all of you, I'm sure, use FamilySearch a lot. So a lot of new things I think we're going to be learning today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Christine.
Thank you, Bob. I am very much not myself today in that I don't have a PowerPoint, but I did that on purpose because we're going to explore the website together. So I wanted to keep that the focus. So FamilySearch, as Bob said, you've probably all used it at least once or twice, some of you more often. So what is FamilySearch? Well, it is the largest genealogy organization in the world. It's a nonprofit, volunteer-driven organization, and it is sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You may know, of course, that part of the religion deals with ancestors, so they're very much focused on researching, right, ancestors and have an extensive library. So that FamilySearch is connected through that. They add continually free genealogical records. That's one of the big things with them is it's free. And they have billions of birth, marriage, death, census, land, and court records for more than 130 countries. So that's pretty extensive.
Yes.
And recently we went through the process and became an affiliate library here at Massillon. Now, Stark County is also an affiliate library, but with the affiliate library status, someone has to actually physically be at the library to access these extra 400 million records that they have, right? So I went through the process and got us signed up for it. We are now an affiliate library. So you can come in, use the system here. You can make an appointment with me. Hopefully we'll have more availability here soon, like as things are changing. To be able to access these records. How many of you have used FamilySearch? I mean, what is your experience so far with FamilySearch?
I use it a lot.
I've used it a lot also.
I've
Okay.
used it occasionally.
Occasionally.
Yeah, me too, occasionally.
I used it before, but I would get frustrated with it because it's so different from Ancestry in the way that it's set up. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's a world pedigree. Do you guys know what that means?
No.
So like when on Ancestry or one of the other sites, I started out years ago with Family Tree Maker, which is how I kind of landed in with Ancestry. But that is your tree alone. You are the one making all the changes, adding everything. Where FamilySearch is a world pedigree. So there's only one tree, right? It's the world tree. And anyone can make changes to it. And that can be frustrating.
Yeah.
Now, it is kind of complex to make a change. It's just why you kind of have to be careful when you enter something to check dates and check everything. Because once you've entered that person or that information, they want to know why you're changing it, right? So, I mean, that's a little more complex. But at the same time, there are some pluses, right, to this idea of a world tree. What do you guys think some of the positives would be to having one big shared tree?
Well, I think it would be, you'd have access to other people's work. I mean, you don't have to do it all yourself.
Yeah. Crowdsourcing at its best, right?
Right.
is definitely a benefit. I mean, yes, people can change things, but they generally have to give a reason why. But you're seeing other people's efforts as well. People you may not, contact, like an Ancestry. Sometimes, how many of you have ever contacted someone on Ancestry who's working on the same person you are?
Oh,
Never.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Never.
nice because you are making contact with a potential relative and you're, sharing and collaborating. But this collaboration happens within the world tree. You can still contact people. Honestly, it tells you who made a change and you
Mhm.
can still contact them. But at the same time, you benefit from this without having to directly collaborate all the time. You can. So, go ahead.
I get that. I met my cousin on Ancestry, and I found a record for our great great grandmother, and he did too. He found one, and I found one, so we were able to enjoy the fruits of our labors and share
Okay.
them.
Right.
That's nice.
And you can still contact people on here. Like I said, you can go in, see who made a change. If you remind me when we get into the profiles, I can show you where that is. And you can contact, sometimes though, the people making the changes are volunteers through FamilySearch. And sometimes they're other members. Now, one thing with this that's different, when you use Ancestry Library, how many of you have come in and used Ancestry Library before?
No.
No. Okay. Well, it's actually, and I posted it online, but just to let you know, Ancestry Library has extended remote access through September. So you're able to access it from home with your library card.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And that's been extended again. So yay. But normally Ancestry Library is just like our FamilySearch, where you have to be in the library to use it.
Mhm.
What was that one we can use online then?
Ancestry Library
Oh,
is actually available remotely right now because of COVID. They have extended that through September. So with your library card, you can go to Ancestry. But with Ancestry Library, you don't log into your personal Ancestry account, and you go and you find the record, you download it, and then you have to load it up to your tree. Where FamilySearch, you have to have an account and log in to use it. And I am logged into mine. You guys can see, that I'm logged in. So one of the first steps that you would do if you come to the library to use, right, these records that we have now through being an affiliate library,
Mhm.
is if you don't have an account, you would want to create one.
Okay.
But the benefit to that, when I find something in Ancestry Library, I have to download it, save it, and then re-upload it to the tree. Here,
Okay.
I can directly connect it. Like if you're a paid member of Ancestry, like you would do then, right?
Hmm.
Although I hesitate to do it that way on Ancestry, because all the ones I saved when I was a paid member, now that I'm not a paid member, because I work at a library, so why pay for it? I can't actually access anymore. So
Oh,
that's
that's-
problematic.
It stinks.
Yeah. So you actually, if you download it and then upload it to the Ancestry site, you can still view it. But here, this connects directly to you. So you can see it's logged in for me. This is the home page. You can see they've got some free US military records, which I intend to use later today to try. I've been trying to help a patron, and military is not my strong suit. So I'm using this as an attempt to get better at military research. So I'm going to see what all they have going on there. They give some little hints, right? You can see that one of my ancestors doesn't have a death place listed.
Oh, okay.
So it's giving me an indication that I might want to fix that. You can set up alerts, like if somebody makes changes on a relative, you can be alerted to that. So you can go in and look and see what they did. So these are just my recently viewed people. So this is just your main page, which you can kind of set up, I believe, the way you want a little bit. But we want to go first. Is this what I want? No, this isn't what I want.
Okay.
I want my, oh geez. Did it log me out? Oh, there we go. All right. So I want to go to my tree.
Tree.
Is it going to make me sign in again?
Sign
I think it is. That's okay. I happen to know this one by heart. And hopefully. All right. There we go. Oh, and it went straight into my favorite view,
Jeez.
Wow.
fan view, which is something that FamilySearch kind of has that a lot of others don't. And I love the fan view for the visibility of it.
That's nice.
And you can go back 7 generations with the fan view. And so I can see where my holes are very easily, right? Where I don't have information.
Mhm.
And so I really like that. I actually was helping someone yesterday in local history genealogy room, and I pulled this up for them so that we could print it and they could identify where their holes are. So
Download and save that or anything? They're under.
you can print it. You can, under options here, you can print. I'm sure you could screenshot it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, but you could definitely print. If you print and you save as a PDF, you would have it that way.
Okay. Thank you.
And then another fan thing, I have family lines, but you can
Okay.
change it to birth countries,
Jeez.
and
Ooh,
it changes the color and shows you, right, like who was born in what country
Oh, jeez. That is
with a color
nice.
code, which I love.
yeah.
This
Yes.
fan chart is like one of my favorite things about FamilySearch, if you couldn't tell. Sources, right? Telling you how, you know, this shows you where you're lacking sources.
Oh, cool.
Like, okay, these ones happen to have 10 or more, where some of these people are not, you know, I don't have any sources at all up here, right? I just kind of know. Stories, well, I'm lacking on stories. Photos, right? So it's kind of cool. And like I said, you can drop it down and only look at 4 generations.
Oh, neat.
So if you're focusing in and you want to know, you know, countries or who do I need more sources for, right? I've been researching, where is my tree weak? Well, I can see right here
Oh, okay.
where my tree is weak. So, and then of course they have the traditional, you know, the landscape,
Oh, okay.
and then portrait, which goes this way, which I think is what you see more with family, with Ancestry. I think this is the kind of loadout you see. So you do need to have an account, but it's free. Everything, that's one of the things with FamilySearch, it's free. So that's very nice. The world pedigree, I mean, it has its cons, but I think it has a lot of pros because, you know, you've heard this word crowdsourcing, right? Probably a lot.
Mhm.
That's become a kind of a trendy term. And this is crowdsourcing. You are on the internet with a group of people working towards the same objective.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it gives you more complete, and the idea is a more accurate, because you should be putting in sources that go with these people.
Makes sense.
Each person, let's pick up, I want to have a particular person here I want to look at, because I know they have hints, and I want to show you, because you guys are familiar with hints on Ancestry, I'm sure.
Yes.
And frustrating when you're not paying for it, because you get these hints and you can't necessarily use them, right? So I'm going to go to Frances Marion Green, who
Okay.
is my claim to fame. If any of you were on the meeting where I showed the old book that was written by one of my ancestors about James Garfield, because James Garfield was their friend, mentor, teacher. Well, this was Frances Marion Green.
Cool.
And this is what a profile looks like for a person. And if you go
Okay.
down here, you can see like some of the relationship status. If you need to edit things like relationships, which
Yeah.
is one of the more complicated things about FamilySearch, but there are some classes, and I'll show you how to access those that help you. And you can do the different views. Possible duplicates. I have run into situations. Every person has their own ID. So if you look up here beside Francis Marion Green at the very top,
Mhm.
can you guys see where I'm pointing?
Yes.
That 9SL9 5PJ is
Okay.
is specific to this one person.
Okay.
And if you run into one of your ancestors that there's 2 different IDs for them,
Hmm.
that means there's a duplicate. And on a world tree, you don't want any duplicates. So you can look here on the right under tools and see, possible duplicates
Hmm.
and then try to merge them. You can merge by ID, right? I had somebody recently, one of my ancestors, who someone had gone in and they were connected to my family, but there was another individual with the same name. So they mistook them for their ancestor. And so
Oh.
they were showing with 2 sets of parents. So I had to go through the process to disconnect them, the relationship between, which gets a little more advanced than what we're going to do today. But there are classes. It is possible. There's a gentleman, Roger Grua, who does a lot of the webinars through FamilySearch, and they're really well done. There's handouts generally. I really actually enjoy watching his. I learn a lot. Makes me very excited when I'm done watching his presentations. I want to go play. You can see there's partnerships. FamilySearch actually is partnering with Ancestry,
Oh,
which
geez.
one of the differences. Okay, so we have Ancestry Library and we have FamilySearch affiliate. So, okay, is that redundant? Well, some of the resources are, but it depends. They have a different algorithm. Anybody speak algorithms? Because I really don't very well. You know what an algorithm is? This idea of math and language kind of marrying together, right? But when you type in a search, the way that like a website like Google searches or Yahoo, they have different algorithms. And it's the same for FamilySearch and Ancestry. So when you search on Ancestry, you might get different results than when you search on FamilySearch, even though they have a lot of the same like census records or, and they're sharing a little bit too because of the partnership. So FamilySearch was known to have better international records at one point, but because of this partnership, I think that's improved Ancestry a little in that area. But they also have, you see, Find My Past, My Heritage, like some of the big ones here to the right where you can search records. And that's kind of cool. And I'm going to do that here in a second from the record because it's nice because it takes your information from the profile and fills it in for you. And so that's kind of cool.
That's neat.
But up here, I wanted to point out research help. There's 4. All right. So it's telling me, oh, there's a possible missing child here. Here, I'm going to go into these.
Okay.
So possible missing child is 1. They're saying the last child was born 3 or more years before the mother turned 40. So they're acknowledging that, you might want to look into this because they might have had more children. Maybe not, right? Or if there's missing children, they may have had children, but they were married, but no children are listed. So that's one thing. But record hints, and they go outside. Like this one is coming from Find a Grave, which is I love Find a Grave. I use that a lot. And so this is a site link, right, for outside, and you can review and attach. So it's showing you like, this is what it says. All right. So this is, trying to see. Okay. So this here is what is new information on the left. And then this is what's on my tree already. So, okay, everything seems to match up. So I know that this is accurate. So I can attach this.
Oh, okay.
And then that record, remember on the fan where it showed you where you didn't have a lot of records?
Yeah.
That builds that up. It's that evidence. I'm doing a presentation later this year on evidence, right? This idea of proof, what's actual proof, what's just a clue, sometimes it's just evidence. So how do we know for sure that the piece of information we have is really about our ancestor? So I'm going to be doing a workshop on that later this year, but this is attaching that record. So now I just have 3. So this is what a basic profile is like in here. Now, is it complicated if you need to change something? Sometimes it can be. It's a lot muddier than if you're the only one using the tree. But like I said, there are classes. I'm going to switch it right here. FamilySearch has this family history library classes and webinars. And they have a complete list, right, of the classes that are coming up. So the classes for May, for August,
Oh,
you
cool.
can link here to register. There's a handout. You can click on it and print the handout ahead of time or review it, put it, have it for your records. So if you are confused, right, about how to merge duplicate records, see, in June 22nd, you actually have a class that's all about that. Correcting relationships. How to use the FamilySearch catalog. So these are going to go a little further than what we're going today. This is just a basic overview to let you guys know, hey, we are an affiliate library now. So if you come here, there's resources that you can access. But there's a lot of helpful information here that can help with the complicated part, the world pedigree part. That's actually a benefit if you can learn how to work it. Now, this, where is it? I need this website and I don't want to click on the Zoom thing. Oh, of course it wants me to sign in again. Seriously? Now, if you want to play at changing relationships because you don't want to affect the world tree, because once you've changed it, then it's a pain to, then there is a beta site. So if you put beta in front of FamilySearch.org, which is the normal site, so beta.familysearch.org, you can go in, see how it's the same, but it says beta above the Family Search. So say I have a messed up relationship. Yep. Trying to get my tree, not my husband's. You can go in here and change it, and it doesn't change the world tree. It just changes it in the beta so that you can practice this idea of changing relationships. Trying to think. If I go into Francis Geddes screen, we go down, see the pencils. This is where you can alter relationships. So you can change, remove or replace this person as her father, that kind of thing. But I get overwhelmed sometimes. I don't want to mess it up. So if I go practice it in the beta, right, like delete parent-child relationship, that was what I needed to do for that individual, right, that had wrong parents. I needed to change the relationship. So you can see too, look, I was the one last changed July 5th, Christine Bowman 3. So if it was somebody else, it would tell you who it was, and you could contact them by just clicking on their name. So I don't know, maybe you guys don't care about the beta, but I get nervous about changing in FamilySearch, and the beta made me feel better about that. What do you guys think?
I've never used it, but I've been using FamilySearch for so long, I don't feel bad about it. Isn't it that if you do something, you just have to be careful, and somebody will catch it if you screw it up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just like the beta because I do feel it's a little complicated sometimes until you figure out how the relationships work in here. Once you figure it out, it's not. But I was overwhelmed, so I never wanted to change anything. But knowing I can go into the beta and practice it helps me. That way I know I'm not messing up my tree. So it's out there. If anybody's interested, beta.familysearch.org.
That's nice. That's kind of industry standard with software. I know at work we have a learning management system, and then we also have we call it a sandbox, but it's an area where you can play and not mess anything up.
Yes. Teaching at Akron, they had what we called the sandbox.
Yeah.
And I guess I like the sandbox idea, right? The beta, being able to
Yep.
practice so I
Yep.
don't mess up a record and then have to figure out, but I have called them and done online chat and they're
Yeah.
very responsive, especially the phone call. I like the phone call better,
Yeah.
but now the fun part. Let's see, what have we've talked about the IDs. Yes. Oh, symbols. We'll get into that. Let's go back to Francis Marion Green. Why does it keep wanting to make me sign it? I guess I need to hit that keep me signed in for 2 weeks button. How about 2 minutes? I don't know. Oh, I didn't hit 2 weeks again. All right. So if we're looking at Francis Marion Green, his profile, and we go over here, search records, and I hit search family search. It pre-populates a lot of the information, like the name, alternate name, birthplace, all of that, and then gives you these potential records. So if you're used to FamilySearch, these probably look familiar. If you're used to Ancestry or another program, they have similar, but you can see over here on the right, symbols. And so this one shows that this person, like this record, is attached to a tree, and you can actually click it and view the tree it's attached to. Then you have this one that shows record details, but this is more the transcribed information. And we all know transcription can sometimes be good and bad, right? And then the camera means there's an actual image. If you look, there's a camera here that has a like website looking thing in the back behind it. That means it's at a partner site, like Find a Grave or Ancestry. And there's one, if you're doing it from home and you see a camera with a key above it, that's the type of stuff that's locked unless you're at an affiliate library or a family history center. And there is a family history center in North Canton. I've not been there, but it does exist. So if you go in and look at the image, it gives you the kind of the indexing information, that transcription below. And sometimes I have noticed the difference, like even if they have the same records between the two, one might be a little clearer or a little, I don't know. So I like to search both places because the algorithm's different and, you might find other information. So that's one way you can search, is go in and click directly from the person. But you can also search records. All right. Does anybody have someone they want me to search for? Nobody?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Adam Brolier, Brollier.
Okay. And do we have any other information we want to add? Birthplace, birth year, anything?
He was born in Sandyville.
Sandyville?
Sandyville.
So country would be USA.
USA.
And then, well, what am I doing here? Country. Okay, United States. All right. So, and then state is Ohio, correct?
Ohio.
Because I think I know where you're talking about, Sandyville. And we'll go with that just to see. And so you can tell it match all exactly, but I like to see what I'm going to get first before I do that, because everybody knows how standardized names are, right? So do any of these look like your person?
Yes, actually.
Sugar Creek Township, which confuses people because they think Sugar Creek, the town, right? They don't realize there's a township, Sugar Creek, within Stark County.
Yeah, he lived in Beach City, which is Sugar
Mhm.
Creek Township.
Yep. And this here, you can see there's an image that's related to, actually, so far, all of these. So do we want to take a look?
Yeah, if you want to
I
take a
answered
few
for you.
minutes.
So is this information you already have? This is a census from 1870. You may have this.
No, actually, I've just started working on him.
Okay,
So
so
I
that's,
don't have a lot of information on him at this point.
and it's showing in the transcribed information, right? It's 55. White, page number 44, and you can download, see here on at the top. So I downloaded the file. See, it's at the bottom right. It's directly downloaded on there. There's also different tools so you can adjust things if you need to. You can print it. And then there's a source box. See the source box?
Yes.
So I have my home file. This was actually a patron that I was doing something for. Right. So you can create folders and then add this source to that folder. So we'll create a new folder. We'll call it Bob. And we'll save it. So then that's saved in your source folder. Now I am a skeptical individual, I guess, because I always save it to the computer, right? And save it to 2 different places. And because I don't trust, right, that I'll be able to get that source again later. But that's me. I'm skeptical. So then what else did they have? They had this here was Ohio County death records.
Now,
I was trying to,
I've
you
been
what?
really trying to find out his death date.
Well, here is April 11th, 1903. And here's the record. Can we see him there? All right, we got,
Here he is.
there he is,
Number, what, 83?
83. Yeah,
Wonderful.
and I will save that to my Bob source box. But like I said, I often download too. I won't this time on this one because this is the studio computer and they're going to be like, what is this? I'll have to remember to erase that. But yeah, so April 11th, 1903. Woohoo. We got some information for Bob today.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
Now, I went down the rabbit hole yesterday. It was a little depressing, I will not lie. Another thing you can do is find a collection. So some of the stuff is indexed and some of it isn't, but you can still go in. I'm going to close this because it's, and these are historical record collections. So, and you can see the symbol of the camera with the little screen behind it means, what does that mean? Anybody remember?
Picture.
Partner site.
Ah, okay.
If there's a key, that means you have to go to an affiliate library or, which I'm not going to get because I'm sitting in an affiliate library, or a family history center. But if there's a camera, this comes from their records. So then you can search, see there's different states, dates, collection types.
Wow.
So yesterday I was working to help a patron, and I spent a lot of time in the coroner reports, and I thought after a while it got a little depressing, but you can see some of these are just indexes, right? But you might be able to get information from, but there's also probate records. And you can actually, I'm trying to find one that's not indexed. So you can see this one allows you to search it, which means it's indexed. But some of them, I'm trying to find what I looked at yesterday, because then that, and you just have to do it old school. You guys remember old school where you have to sit and flip through?
Ugh.
I'm gonna take that out.
Very.
So trying to, I want Stark County or Ohio, at least, right? But you can see Brazil, right?
Wow.
If you're looking at different areas. I know there's an upcoming class dealing with German history, like German family. I think it's June 22nd. No, maybe that's the one it's August. It's August maybe, but it's under this list. Denmark, Nordic, jumpstart your German research, August 4th. So it's a beginner level class on how to find, right? How to do German research. So if you have German heritage, all right, come on, let me get back to where I was. Thank you. California. I went to Ohio much faster yesterday.
On the,
Maybe
on
I
the
went-
left side above, there's a drop down box for United States. Will that let you select a
Look at
state?
some more. Ah, there we go. I knew I went faster. Thank you. You know, when you're on camera, sometimes you get a
Yep.
little bit of performance anxiety, right?
Yep.
So these are the type of images. See how it says browse images?
Mm, yep.
So Stark County corners, that's where I was yesterday. And that, like I said, ugh. So you can't search it, but you can go in and see the case files.
All
So I was looking-
57,000 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, if you got some spare time, but it is at least, by year. I mean, this is old school. Who remembers old school research?
Yeah,
I mean,
this
where you
is
had to
like-
go and flip through microfilm page after page.
Yep.
Yeah, this is, at least it's in your home or at least at the library, right?
Right.
Here in this case. But if you go into a particular year, it has the records and you can flip through and look for the person. And some of it is kind of redacted, I guess. You can see the
Yeah.
black line there. There's some of it, like the whole first page is restricted, but they
Why
have
would-
several pages of information.
Why would that be redacted?
I don't know. Maybe it had to do with a court case, or maybe
Oh.
I have no idea.
Huh.
But there are ones where the whole front page of it is restricted. But there's plenty of information on the other pages, and you just flip through. And yesterday, I noted okay, so this is 99, and see the case number 99. And
Mhm.
then if you can, okay, so we're in January, so I can go up here and say, I want later in the year. So I'm going to go to 170. And now I'm looking at see what year, or I know the year 99. So this is 3/28/99. So I jumped ahead. And so that this file box isn't going to go much further at being at image 169. So you're going to have to look at another file if it was December. Like I was looking for somebody yesterday, December of 1987. So you can go through the images. Like I said, after a while, looking through the corner ones, it's a little bit, but you can find the reports.
This is my
So-
first foray into ancestor searching, so it's very interesting.
Okay, so here is something that Family Tree has that's not necessarily related to being an affiliate. And it's a little more fun than looking at corner case files. Just saying. Activities. Oh, compare a face is interesting. But my favorite of the activities, now when I know, Roz, you did the Roots Tech, didn't you? Someone
Yeah.
did. Yeah. And
I did. Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I signed up for it, and I didn't take the live ones. They
Mhm.
directed you to a lot of the ones that were in the FamilySearch library. And I just, pigged out on those. But yeah, I've used a lot of those features, and they show you who you're related to, that's famous
Right.
relatives. There it is.
yeah.
And
And here's the famous relatives.
yeah. And then the fun thing is when you do the faces, you can take your picture, give them a picture of you, and then give them a picture of one of your relatives on your tree. And then they tell you what, percentage you look like. So I look the most like my mother, according to them.
So they have a lot of these activities built into FamilySearch. As you can see, I went into the activities and then my famous relatives. And of course, this is all based on the accuracy of the world pedigree. So there's that. But you can see I have 33 leaders, 11 inventors and scientists, 25 entertainers and artists, 16 trailblazers, and 1 athlete. Now, athleticism is very important to my husband. And I remember when we were considering years ago having children, he wanted to know if my family was athletic. Oh, yeah. It's a good thing this activity wasn't available then. There's 1 athlete. He's a hockey player. That's it. But look, so many presidents and world changers, right?
So how many, is it like that? What is it? 8 degrees to Kevin Bacon or whatever that is?
I mean, it tells you if you click on it.
Okay.
My James Garfield, which is interesting. I picked him because not only the director here at the library and I both have a love of James Garfield, right? Sherry, I don't know if you guys know her love for James Garfield, but then my family, Francis Geddes Green, I'm sorry, that's Francis Marion Green, which was Francis Geddes Green's father. He was the one who was friends with Garfield. So interestingly, he's my 6th cousin, 4th time removed. And you can see, you go back and you can see where. So you can go back and kind of check the tree and make sure that if it's correct or not, right? But it shows you, okay, so off of these individuals, it branches out. And what I found was a lot of these presidents and leaders were related to me through the same people. So they were related to each other distantly. So that was kind of interesting to me.
That pedigree feature on there is amazing. There's something called Find My Relatives. Are you familiar with that?
I am not. Let's see.
A guy showed that, a gentleman who turned out to be a distant cousin of mine. He showed this to me at the FamilySearch,
You know how to get to it?
In Canton. He showed me on the bottom of my page was something called pedigree. And then, there was something called also Find My Relatives. And it was on my phone. And anybody, if you turn on your app, if you have the app, maybe you won't see it there, and the other person has the app. He and I went outside after closing and he opened his app. I opened my app. And we were like 8 cousins once removed, and we could see the line and how we were related. It's amazing.
Yeah, that there are features on the app that you would load on your phone that are you can turn, if you have that turned on and somebody else does too, it will tell you if you're related to that person based on the information in the world pedigree. Now, if somebody has something wrong in the world pedigree, that affects that. So that's why it's good to go in there and look at what's in there, but also to source it, right? To find the evidence to strengthen this tree, because the stronger this tree is, right? The more information we can get from it. That's what I really like about it. The fact that I can look and see these people that I'm related to or where I'm from. I'm getting ready to do a 3-part series with children's genealogy that begins later this month. And the third part of it is kind of this, where am I from? Now you can see, like, if you look at different, like 8 generations back, like you can see where people are on your map. So, and then you can change it and say, okay, 4 generations ago. Oh, so obviously my people came over much earlier. Well, some of them. And you can see, all right, different individuals, like
These are the people who are
where they were born.
online. I just want to turn it down a moment. Roz is sleeping.
And you can zone in a little or zoom in, whatever. It is kind of a zone. So I just think that that's kind of neat.
Wow.
So there's a lot of features. I mean, I think the records are amazing and I can't wait to play with those some more. And there is, like I said, overlap with the Ancestry Library to some extent. But because of the algorithms, you might get different resources. So compare a face, that's what Roz was talking about, where you can, these are just kind of fun activities, right?
Yeah,
You can
there's
record-
another thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying you can record your family story, which I think oral history, we don't do enough of that, right? Where, because we have all this technology and we should tell stories and leave that for future generations.
If you have an account, if you don't mind me interrupting, I'm sorry.
No.
If you have an account, they will, and you enable notifications, they will tell you when it's an important date in one of your ancestors' lives. Like today is the birthday of my 3rd great grandmother, Olive Lucy Adams.
Who I know is important to you.
Yes, she is. And, it came up and you can review her information by clicking one place, and anniversaries, all sorts of cool things on FamilySearch.
Is there anything else you guys want me to explore?
I'll ask Roz about it.
Did you search for John Perry, Perry?
Sure can. Perry.
Yep.
Any additional information?
US, Ohio, but I'm not sure of anything after that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's probably about 1 million of them.
Yeah, and you do kind of have to look through. I mean, it is nice. You see the, relationships, so you can kind of eliminate people too sometimes.
Reginald Perry was his son. That's not a real common name.
Okay.
Would that be a better way to go at it?
One thing you can do too, if you don't want to limit it here, you can look to see if Reginald comes out
Yeah.
over here on the right with other. Do you know what area that he lived in at all? No, just Ohio?
The Canton, Deersville area.
Okay.
So it's kind of close, not too far.
Mm-hmm. So what year was he born? Do you know? Approximate?
No, I don't have any of that with
Okay,
me.
no approximate. All right. Because there are a couple, right, that are in Canton, but like one was born in 1918, one was born in 1940 or 35. So
Okay, well, that would be my great grandfather. So late 1800s.
okay, so we're looking 19th century. Okay.
wife was Anna, if that helps.
Okay, well, we can add in spouse and Anna. All right, so 19, here's the
Oh,
19.
there's something. Emma, Reginald, Lillian.
That's the census from 1940.
Nice. So they just have him at Canton.
Well, if you look at it, you can go like on the side of the census and get like the street name, right? And all of that.
Oh, wow.
Because this page is block, like, right, they give you block numbers, what township it's in, and then on the side of the census, which is a little hard to see on this screen here, but then they'll have like the name of the street generally written somewhere. If you have some, you might have to go back like a page to find it, but
Okay.
you can see this is Ward 5 for sure. And then like the address would be here. It's just, I can't see, like, this is the number order that they went in, but then you have, and on a smaller screen, we might be able to get a little better, but you can generally get the street name.
Does it give his parents' name on that?
It wouldn't, I don't know that we give their name, but unless they were living there, but it might say, some of them say like where the parents were born, right? A lot of them will ask, where you were, place of birth, and then it'll ask place of parents. But I'm not sure if this one does. It's hard for me to see this. But because it says, where's he? We need to find him on here. Is that, here's Perry.
Okay.
And he was born in Ohio. But I'm not sure. Let me see if there's any more here. No. I can't, I have like standard sheets that show you what information is on each year.
Oh, okay.
But like, I'm having a hard time reading the black print.
Yeah.
This is like residence information. So some of the census, it depends on what they were interested in that particular year.
Right.
Like right around, of course, 1930, 1940, you're going to see a lot of questions about employment. See, employment status because of the Depression. So that's something they want to know. What occupation, how many months were you employed? So you'll see that because that was important at that time. Where some of them want to know immigration, like there's some Massillon ones. Where were you born? Where were your parents born? What language do you use, is your primary language? So those are ones where they're trying to find out information about immigration. So depending on the year, what their priorities are.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
But I'm sure if this were on a different size screen, we might be able to read a little better, but I'm not seeing anything on here about where their parents.
Okay.
I only see place of birth for the person, but they do have a personal description, which is kind of cool.
Huh. That's interesting.
Education level. And if you're 14 or over, they want to know your employment status. Very interesting. Let's see if we can find anything else on there. So that was Ward. And And we know Anna, but I don't know if it's, nope, that's,
It's a different John and Anna. Wow.
yeah. Oh, that happens a lot, which is why I had the problem. Here's the 1931 with someone connecting, which what's crazy is Francis Geddes Green. How many Francis Geddes Greens do you think there are out there? Right. Like,
Yeah, really.
And but it was so funny because you had Frances Marion, who was married to a Stowe, but her name, there's this Elizabeth, Eliza. And so they had the parents with the same similar name and a son with the same name. I'm like, really? How many of these, how many were out there?
Wow.
And names you would think are maybe unique, but at the time, maybe were very popular.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 9th Ward. This was a year before.
Much easier to read.
1930. There's John, Anna, Francis, Emma, Reginald, Lillian.
Yep.
And you can see Ohio, United States. So let me go up to the top and see. So this one asks place of birth for the person, the father and the mother. So unfortunately, all they say is United States,
Okay.
which isn't overly helpful. So.
I can see a giant time suck in my future. But how interesting.
Yes. And like I said, I use both Ancestry Library and our FamilySearch records because you do get different results.
Yeah.
And then you can see here, okay, so this individual is in the tree. And is this him? Somebody has connected that document to a tree. So if you go here, this is him, John Allen Perry.
Uh-huh.
And this is his ID number. Remember I said everybody has a unique ID number?
Okay.
So that's how you can find him on there. And then you can actually go to his profile. And this is what someone has already entered. You can see how many sources have been attached. Residents, draft registration. They've added all this stuff in. And family members here. This is, again, I always think you should check this stuff, right? Don't assume somebody else did proper research.
Yeah.
But if they've added sources, it does help. So there's quite a bit of information. I mean, Reginald, how would you say that? Glacius?
I don't know. I don't think I ever knew his middle name.
So Reginald Glacius Perry.
Wow. Yeah, I just took a screenshot of that because I said, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And this you can access from home. It's the only, only the documents, like there's like, again, what did I say? Like 400 million digital documents that we can access here at the library that people can't access from home. But you can access all of this from home. And that ID number at the top, if you write that down, you can search by the ID number and it'll take you directly to that person.
Okay. Very interesting.
And then it shows their parent, John A. Perry, as the parent, saying they were born, Harrison. So they were born in Harrison Township.
Okay.
And this says Tappan, Harrison.
Yep,
that's Harrison County, isn't it?
I don't know.
Because Tappan Lake, wouldn't that be, is that what it's referring to there?
Probably.
Area?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That they're down in that same area.
Okay, so sources 15. So there have been 15 sources that have been attached to this record. And you can actually go in, see who attached them. Remember I said I would show you guys that? Well, guess what? Here it is.
There we go.
Christopher Michael Nichols, could be a volunteer, but it could be a family member. And you can actually click on this, view my relationship, or send a message. Huh? Okay, this is weird.
We're connected.
Yeah, it's according to this. I'm 11th cousins with this person you had me look up.
Huh.
Well, somehow, but I don't know how this works because I don't know who this is. What is that? Oh, I'm 11th cousins with the person who entered the information,
Ah,
who might be your relative.
yeah, we have Nichols.
So we're connected somehow there.
Oh, well, I'll be darned. Hey, cousin.
Yeah. So whoever this is, however they're related to you, they're my 11th cousin.
Okay.
And they're doing the one entering all the information on John Perry.
Christine,
Yes.
can you go through like one of the unfinished attachments and the dismiss? I had I started my family tree on FamilySearch, but I got really confused when you got into these unfinished attachments where they want you to merge things, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe if you could just go over that a little bit.
Merging becomes a little bit more difficult. Let me see. I know they have actual webinars with handouts on merging.
Okay.
So let me see where wow. Asia research webinars. Yeah. I'm looking for one because then I can kind of,
Yeah.
if nothing else, we can make sure you have the handout for it that might help. Because merging, right, you're merging two people who, like, I had to do that before because if you have two people who are the same person, yet they have two different numbers,
Right,
that's
that
not,
was-
you don't want that. So you've got to merge them. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that was confusing. I stayed away from it because I wasn't sure what I was doing.
June 22nd at 10 a.m. There
Okay.
is an online course on merging duplicate records in FamilySearch.
Okay.
And there's a handout for that. You can access from the familysearch.org classes. If you just search Family History Library classes and webinars, the page comes
Okay.
up. And then the handout, like I said, that it takes you, it's very, I
Okay.
think, well done, their classes. The guy Roger Grua, who does them, I learn a lot from him. But say it's taking you through, possible duplicates, because it will say possible duplicates on there. You can also search, right, for duplicates. He makes it look so easy too. He'll go in there and stuff that I find to be complex, and he'll just choo, 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 choo. And you're like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad.
Sounds good. I'll check
But there
that
is
one
a
out.
handout that you can access.
Okay, thank you.
How did you access that handout? I missed it somehow.
Okay, no problem. We'll go back. Under the family search, see, I just did a FamilySearch library classes and webinars. That's what I searched for. Boom, to the website. Easy peasy. And then you have a list for the classes here, but I always just scroll down because upcoming webinars, and see the handout link. It's on the
Where?
right for each one.
I don't see it. Wait a minute. I've got to move this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can link here and register for the class if you want to actually take the class. But if you don't want to take the class and you just want to look at the handout, then you can
Oh, no.
click handout and see what he's going to tell you. But I do like his classes. I mean, he's pretty much done every one that I've gone and done, because with us becoming an affiliate library, I'm trying to do as many of these as I can so that I become better versed, because I've always been an Ancestry user or a family tree maker. So I'm trying to get better with the FamilySearch world pedigree.
James Tanner has really good things that they're on the BYU library, and they're in the YouTube. If you say search on the YouTube
Mhm.
for James Tanner genealogy, you will get a lot of things, and he's really thorough and really good.
What's his last name again, Roz?
Tanner, Tanner. And if you
Okay.
go on YouTube and, do a search, James Tanner genealogy, then you'll
Okay.
see a ton of good ones from the past.
Thank you.
Christine, do you? Oh,
Mhm.
sorry. Is there a list of records, like, for example, for Nova Scotia, that would be available in the affiliate libraries, but not in the on home screens?
See, the hardest thing for me though is if I'm at home or if I'm here, it's hard for me to tell what's available, because it's all just available to me. So I don't know. But when you
Okay.
go into the search records, you can search by location here. So you could go in, right? And this is publish all, all, and you could enter in Nova Scotia. Here you go. So there's births, census, church records, deaths, delayed births. They have, it looks like maybe indexed, not indexed or whatever, but there's no image here. So they might just have a listing of where you might find things for this for 1711 to 1909. But here's some that have the image. Vital records. So there's quite a few actually.
Now, is there anything that has a little key on it, or you can't see?
I can't see that because I'm here. If someone searched at home, they could tell us if those are
okay. I'm
key
going to do
items.
that. Thank you.
Quite a few Nova Scotia ones. Like I said, before they started sharing records with Ancestry, they were well known for being better with international. But again, Ancestry is now picked up because they want to charge that, for that international membership.
Right.
And that's my biggest problem, I think, with Ancestry. I don't have a problem with them being monetized, but like when I was a paid member and I saved something, I should still be able to access that because I was a paid member at the time that I saved it. So I have some issue with that and the sharing, right? Because I have to invite somebody to share sometimes. I don't know. I like Ancestry though. I do go back to it often. I like to use both, right? So
that's why you copy things, I guess. Make copies and put them in your Ancestry book.
All right. Any other questions and you guys are all familiar with the fact, the process right now that you can come in and use the resources here. You make an appointment with me. Roz has done so a couple times for her Massillon schools research. And then you can use the local history genealogy room. You can use FamilySearch, the computer there, microfilm, whatever you need.
Nice. What was the name of that place in North Canton?
It's a family history center. It's closed right now, but I assume at some point it's going to open back up. But the family history centers are closed.
It's
They
called
only open it on a day or two a week, and you have to call and make an appointment. I know that much.
For right now it is, because the last time I looked,
Well, I
it was
don't know
closed.
if it's open now, but previously.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do just like a search, because I know I've looked for it before, but of course, family history, because I'm online, it'll never work out quickly. Learning center. Okay, this is not what I wanted, but interesting. Irish civil registration. Woohoo.
Does somebody want the address or something for that?
Yeah, I was trying to find the page where you have the history centers, right?
You can also just Google it, but
Family
Yeah,
History Center. I mean, the main one obviously is in
I can give you
Salt
the
Lake.
no, I got it. I found it.
All right. So this shows you the history centers and affiliate libraries, which hopefully we're in there now.
And I have the number to call for an appointment if anybody wants it, but I don't know if you could get one, but
Right. That's what I was trying to find to see if they are open or not, because they weren't the last time I looked. So,
Well, I went to Google Maps and there was nothing for them.
right, this is their usual. But let me. So Canton, Ohio Family History Center on East Hill Street, Southeast and North Canton. If you can see, I have it up there, the website and the phone number, but I was going to pop over to the website. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. Got
I
it.
don't see that it says they're closed here, but maybe they haven't updated this.
Yeah, that could be.
I'm going to pop over here, but you could always call and see.
Okay. Yep.
Because they usually, I thought, had like a pay, like an announcement like that these are closed temporarily.
Mhm.
So, and I'm not seeing that. So maybe that's a good sign.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all I had, unless somebody has some other questions.